is something else that's going across the shoulder. I'm just trying to show you. Transverse scapular goes across the shoulder, and that's the transverse scapular artery on the left side. That's the vein, that's the artery. The subscapular are going to be names for the vessels that go down into the subscapularis muscle. So I'm trying to lift that up there. So those are subscapular artery and vein. Okay. So that is pretty good. So that the transverse, so you kind of got a little beat up on here, so I wouldn't go up in here on that. Did you look down in here? This is good. Well, this is what I could feel comfortable tagging without spending time cleaning it up. So this is the aorta, descending thoracic aorta. They've been broken, but the intercostal kind of goes off of those. See those little nubs? That's where those get broken. And then when the aorta comes through the diaphragm, then we start calling it abdominal aorta. So like down here, descending abdominal aorta. The first branch off it is the celiac trunk. So if it's tagged like right up next to the aorta, call it celiac trunk. But what they've tried to do is do a little dissection so that you can see there's something going to this thing's a spleen. So if something is tagged like way out here, don't call that celiac trunk, call that splenic. So there should be other branches going to the stomach and one to the liver, but a lot of times they're not big enough for us to feel comfortable tagging on the test. But for sure, celiac trunk and splenic, I would feel like it's fair. This is the superior mesenteric artery. The inferior probably got ripped off with all this stuff here. So if I follow the aorta down, you've got renal artery and vein. That's pretty clear. Then you sometimes can see a nice suprarenal. So this looks like, nah, I don't know. I might have been, might not. So that means I don't tag it on the test. Actually, Charlie Harrison is tagging the test, and he's pretty particular. He's not going to tag something that's not clear. So I mean that's a good thing.
Between the two, the suprarenals and the renals.
Suprarenals, it has to be really clear. The renal is like, yeah, it's usually fairly small. So renal, it's like you can't miss it. If it's above that, call it suprarenal. If it doesn't appear to be going actually to the kidney and it's above it. So that might have been it, but I don't know.
What are the adrenal glands?
The adrenal glands are soft glands. They don't have like a fibrous capsule around them. So when everyone's doing this cleanup stuff, they just get obliterated. Yeah. So they sit right there, but they're soft kind of. So the renal veins are really clear. The ureter is clear. That's what this is. So this is a boy kitty. So there's like a spermatic cord here that should have some blood vessels going to them, but on this particular cat I don't really see it. This thing is the bladder.
It's big.
It's kind of interesting,
What's that?
actually.
Iliac.
So this is kind
Just
of weird.
external, right? They don't have common.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this.
Oh.
That's kind of weird. I don't know. Honestly, can you get that on tape? I don't know what the heck that is. Well, it's approximately, if it's a single artery coming off about this level, it's probably the inferior mesenteric, but I'm like, it's kind of high for that.
What about the gonadals?
Well, that's why I was kind of trying to tease it apart. That's the other possibility. But they're almost fused. Yeah. Well, now there's none. Now there's one.
Now it's a single.
Now it's a single. Yeah, I just made it a single. So it just seems too high. Again, you're correct. Gonadal would be here. So maybe in this particular cat, they start out fused and then they split. These are all the stringy stuff here. Going this way, iliolumbars here. And I'm looking for what's left of that's more the location of the inferior mesenteric. That's a little more geographically correct. And then in the cat, they have this weird, only external iliac arteries and internal iliac arteries. And actually I grabbed, I'm trying to find the middle sacral here. It's a little, it's not very median though. Oh, well, there it is. Yeah, way down in there. And then on the cat, there is a external iliac vein, and there should be an internal going way in here, like right. I'm trying to lift it up.
Yeah,
but
right there.
can you get it?
Yeah.
Ooh, cameras are good. And then, so the iliac, so external iliac artery and vein on the right side here. Once it passes through where the body wall used to be, then you start calling it femoral. So the deep femoral in these cats usually can be seen kind of diving off and going more towards the midline is where you usually see it. So unless it's really obvious, we won't tag it. So I'm not going to tag it on this cat, but I could tag way out here. Am I stepping on? No, it's that. Out here, that's the saphenous, so right saphenous vein. The popliteal, you have to kind of do a little separation and find something going off behind the knee. So this one hasn't been pulled out yet, but
I think you can see it, right? It's starting to, at least. So it'd be off that division.
yeah, I'm kind of. So it's
Yeah.
usually pretty obvious, but you have, this one's not cleaned up enough to say it yet, and it didn't get injected very well
No.
either. Yeah. Okay. You have a good one. So that's why it's good to look at a couple of cats. And these ones, if there's something you haven't seen, see. What are you looking for?
How do we know it's a boy?
Right here.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. Testicles.
Oh,
Right
those
there,
are.
yeah.
I thought that was like the tail stuff.
Yeah, no, testicles.
Okay.